I was staring at my son's face. His cheek was covered in red welts, angry, inflamed, spreading. The cream I'd applied 20 minutes earlier sat on the bathroom counter. The same cream I'd been using for weeks. Same brand, same packaging, same logo, except it wasn't the same. And the moment I realized that, everything I thought I knew about what's safe to buy in this country shattered. This started 6 months ago, but not with my son. It started when my neighbor knocked on my door holding a phone charger. The plug end was melted, blackened plastic. Burn marks on her bedroom wall. She'd bought it online from what looked like an official listing. Recognized brand, good price. She said she was lucky she woke up when she did. Lucky her house didn't catch fire. I remember thinking she must have bought from some dodgy website. Not somewhere I'd ever shop. I was wrong about that. I'd always assumed the UK was different, that we had standards. That trading standards and the Food Standards Agency and Border Control kept dangerous products out. That if I saw something in a major retailer or on a platform I trusted, someone had checked it. Someone had verified it. Someone was protecting us. That belief cost me more than I want to admit. Let me tell you how this actually works, because what I discovered will change how you see every product you've ever bought. In the UK, there are 3 types of products most people never distinguish between. Genuine products made by legitimate manufacturers. Look-alike products that legally mimic famous brands just enough to confuse you without violating trademark law. And counterfeit products that are illegal, dangerous, and everywhere. The problem is that all 3 can sit side by side on the same shelf, on the same website, in the same search results. And unless you know exactly what to look for, you can't tell which is which until something goes wrong. Here's what nobody tells you. When you search for a branded product online, the results you see aren't curated by experts. They're ranked by algorithms that prioritize seller ratings, pricing, and keywords. A counterfeit seller can copy product photos, mimic brand names with tiny spelling changes, generate fake positive reviews, and appear in your top results. The platform doesn't verify authenticity before listing. They respond to complaints after the damage is done. You are the quality control. You just don't know it. I started investigating properly after that conversation with my neighbor. I wanted to prove to myself that she'd just been careless. That if you shop sensibly, this doesn't happen. I created a simple test. I'd buy common household products from different sources and compare them to products I knew were genuine. Basic items that millions of people buy every week without a second thought. The first thing I tested was phone chargers. I bought 5, 1 from an Apple store, 1 from Argos, 3 from online marketplaces, all from listings that showed the Apple logo and promised genuine products. The price differences were significant. The Apple Store charger was £19. The online ones ranged from £4 to £8. I thought maybe I'd found a deal. When they arrived, I couldn't immediately tell the difference. The packaging looked right. The logos looked right, the weight felt similar. It wasn't until I opened them that I started noticing details. The printing on the cable was slightly blurred on 2 of them. The USB end on one had rough edges where genuine Apple products are smooth. The plug pins on another were fractionally misaligned. Small things. Things you'd never notice unless you were looking for them. Then I had them tested. And this is where it stopped being interesting and became genuinely frightening. 2 of the 3 online chargers failed basic UK electrical safety standards. The internal components were substandard, the voltage regulation was inconsistent. One had inadequate insulation that could lead to electrical shock. Another had components that could overheat under normal use. These weren't just poor quality products. They were fire hazards, electrocution risks, being sold openly on platforms used by millions of people every day. I contacted the sellers. One account had disappeared. Another insisted their products were genuine and threatened legal action if I made false claims. The third offered a partial refund if I deleted any negative reviews. None of them removed the listings, None of them were held accountable. And when I checked weeks later, all three were still selling, with hundreds of new positive reviews that I now knew were probably fake. But electrical items weren't the worst of what I found. Cosmetics were worse. Because at least with a charger, you might notice it overheating. With a face cream or lipstick, you don't know what's in it until you've already absorbed it through your skin. I bought makeup from 5 different sources. Department store, Boots, 3 online sellers claiming to stock genuine branded products at discount prices. I chose a specific high-end foundation that I'd used before. Something I knew well enough to spot differences. The first sign was texture. The legitimate products had a smooth, consistent feel. 2 of the online purchases were grainier. Separated slightly when applied, the scent was off. Not dramatically, but noticeably if you'd used the real product before. I had the suspect products analyzed. What came back made me physically ill. One contained heavy metals at levels that exceeded safe cosmetic limits. Another had bacterial contamination suggesting non-sterile manufacturing conditions. The third had ingredients that weren't listed on the label at all, including a preservative banned in the EU for cosmetic use. These weren't just fake products, they were toxic. And people were putting them on their faces, their eyelids, their lips, absorbing them into their bloodstream, never knowing. This is the point where my investigation changed from curiosity to something personal. Because I realized I'd done exactly what I was documenting. I'd bought discounted skincare products online for my family. I'd seen a brand I recognized at a price that seemed great, and I clicked purchase without thinking. And one of those products was the cream I'd been putting on my son's skin. When his reaction started, I didn't connect it immediately. But the rash was localized to exactly where I'd applied the cream. I still had the tube. The packaging was nearly identical, but nearly isn't enough. The batch code didn't verify on the manufacturer's website. The tube weight was slightly less. And when I had it tested, it contained an ingredient known to cause contact dermatitis that wasn't supposed to be in the formula at all. My son's reaction cleared up once I stopped using it. He was lucky, but luck isn't a safety system. Luck is what you rely on when the actual systems designed to protect you have failed. I went deeper. I visited warehouses where seized counterfeit goods are stored before destruction. Pallets stacked with fake branded products, toys with toxic paint, food supplements with no active ingredients, baby formula cut with cheaper substitutes, perfumes made with chemicals that cause respiratory problems. All of it was destined for UK consumers. All of it had been intercepted, but these were just what got caught. I spoke with a trading standards officer who'd worked in enforcement for 15 years. She was exhausted, frustrated. She told me they're overwhelmed. That the volume of counterfeit goods entering the UK has increased exponentially in the past 5 years. That online marketplaces have made enforcement nearly impossible because by the time they trace a seller, the account is deleted and a new one appears. She said they prosecute when they can, but the penalties are often too low to deter anyone seriously. She said consumers need to understand that they re on their own in ways they weren't a decade ago. That statement haunted me. You're on your own. In a marketplace you were told was regulated, protected, safe. Here's what this means for you right now, today. Every single product you buy requires a level of scrutiny that most people don't give it. Because the markers we used to rely on don't work anymore, familiar brand names can be faked. Official-looking packaging can be printed anywhere. Seller ratings can be manipulated. Low prices might mean legitimate competition or bulk buying, but they might mean something else entirely. And you won't know until you're holding the product, or using it, or dealing with the consequences. This particularly matters for anything that touches your body or plugs into your wall: skincare, makeup, food products, supplements, electrical items, phone accessories, toys for children. These aren't areas where you can afford to guess wrong. These are areas where counterfeit products create real danger. So what do you actually do? How do you protect yourself when the systems meant to protect you are failing? I'm going to give you specific, practical steps that I now follow religiously. First, verify every online seller before purchase. Don't just look at star ratings, read recent negative reviews carefully. Check how long the seller account has existed. Look for patterns suggesting fake reviews, like identical phrasing or reviews posted on the same dates. If a seller has thousands of perfect reviews, but the account is only weeks old, that's a red flag. Second, never buy safety-critical or body contact products from sellers you can't verify. Phone chargers, cosmetics, supplements, baby products, anything electrical. The money you save isn't worth the risk. Buy these from authorized retailers even if it costs more. Your safety has a value. Third, learn the authentication markers for products you buy regularly. Most major brands now have verification tools, serial numbers you can check, batch codes you can verify on their websites, specific packaging details that counterfeiters get wrong. Spend 10 minutes learning these for products you use regularly. It could save you from serious harm. Fourth, trust your senses. If a product smells different, feels different, performs differently than you remember, don't use it. Don't convince yourself you're imagining it. Your brain recognizes inconsistencies even when you can't articulate what's wrong. Listen to that. Fifth, report everything. If you suspect you've bought a counterfeit or dangerous product, report it to trading standards immediately through Citizens Advice Consumer Service. Also report to the platform you bought from. Also leave a detailed review warning other buyers. Your report might prevent someone else from being harmed. Why is this worse now than ever before? Because the global supply chain has fractured into millions of individual sellers. Because manufacturing has become so accessible that anyone with capital can produce convincing fakes. Because online platforms prioritize growth over verification. Because regulators are understaffed and overwhelmed. Because the penalties for getting caught are often less than the profit from selling. And because we're all so busy, so overwhelmed with choices, so trusting of systems we think are protecting us, that we make decisions in seconds that we should be making in minutes. The brands being copied know all of this. They spend fortunes on anti-counterfeiting technology, holograms, special links, blockchain verification, but counterfeiters adapt as fast as brands innovate. It's an arms race where consumers are the collateral damage. I went back to that bathroom where this started. The cream tube is still there. I keep it as a reminder. A reminder that my son's reaction was the lucky version of what could have happened, that the systems I trusted didn't protect him, that my assumptions nearly cost him more than a week of discomfort. Every product I buy now goes through a mental checklist I never had before. Is this from a verified seller? Does the price make sense? Can I authenticate this? Does everything look and feel right? It takes more time, it's less convenient, but it's necessary. I'm not telling you this to make you afraid. I'm telling you this because awareness is the only real protection you have right now. Because understanding how sophisticated counterfeit operations have become changes your behavior in ways that keep you safe. Because assuming someone else is checking these things for you is a gamble you might lose in ways you lines regret. If this changed how you think about even one purchase you're planning to make, if it made you realize that trusted platforms and familiar brand names aren't enough anymore, then you understand what took me 6 months and my son's suffering to learn. If you want more investigations like this, if you want to understand what's really in the products you're buying, and how the systems around them actually work, subscribe. I'll keep investigating, I'll keep telling you what I find. Because we're navigating this marketplace together, and the more we know, the safer we all are.